Hi, I'm Ryan C. Greene, founder of Six Figure Author Mastery. I'm going to thank you for taking time to check out this information I'm going to share with you today. I know it's going to help grow your writing career. All right. As a best-selling author, publisher, author, coach, all those titles, all this simply means is that I've helped people sell a lot of books, and I've sold a lot of books myself. And what I'm going to teach you today are the top two issues that every author faces. Whether you've already written a book, whether you're trying to write a book, these are the two things that every single author has faced in their author business. Now, I'm going to stop right there, because if you're not considering your book as a business, then you're already messing up. Okay, you're already missing out. Your book is a business. Every book you release is a new business. So we want to talk to you about how to become a business owner, how to grow your authoring business as we talk about in this training. So let's start first and foremost with the title, right? When writing a book, what's the first thing every author wants to be? They want to be what? A best-selling author, right? Everyone wants that title of being a best-selling author. I'm going to share a dirty little secret with you right off the top. I'm going to share a dirty little secret. A best-selling author, all that is where you rank on a list at any one particular time, okay? Becoming a best-selling author, while it sounds good, while everyone wants to have that title, and while you should definitely earn that title before you use that title, but what a best-selling author means simply is just where you are on a list. What it doesn't tell you is how much money you actually made from your book. So while your book may have sold a certain amount of copies at a particular time, it doesn't necessarily mean that you made a whole lot of money. And when we talk about six-figure author mastery, we're talking about how to maximize the revenue you generate from your book, how to turn your book into a six-figure revenue machine. So that's what we want to talk about. We want to make sure that you're getting out of the way of getting out of the habit, rather, of worrying about best-selling author as a title, and also best revenue author. All right. Are you creating the revenue that you're looking to create from your book? So what we're going to talk about today is two things. We're going to talk about the top two issues that every aspiring author faces. All right. And we're going to break this down. I'm going to have a special offer for you at the end on how you can join our upcoming master class and why this is so important. If you're an author, if you're an aspiring author, if you want to grow your business as an author, as a content provider, then this is what you want to take advantage of. You want to join our next six-figure author master class, all right? Our book writing and marketing master class. So the very first topic, the first issue that any aspiring author faces, and these are the questions I get asked the most. In my 15 years in the industry, these are the two questions that I've been asked the most. Everyone I know who does author coaching, who's helped another author, who does publishing, asks these same questions. All right. And the number one question people always ask is, how do I write a book? They say, Ryan, how do I write a book? Well, in the six-figure author masterclass, what we're going to teach you is how to write your book. Okay. Now, I'll grant it. When I first got started in the industry, I wasn't teaching people how to write books. I thought, hey, if you want to write a book, you should know how to write a book, right? Well, what I found out was that wasn't necessarily the best way to go about doing things, right? So what I've done and what I've, in my experiences, have learned and mastered the way to write a book in just 3 days. So everything I'm going to go over today is what we're going to go over in depth in the master class. So the upcoming master class, if this starts to resonate with you, you want to make sure you're registering for the next upcoming class, because the biggest thing, when I wrote my first book, it took me 1 whole year to write my first book. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I had a story to tell and I wanted to put it on paper. So I wrote my book. It took me a whole year to write my book. 15 years later, I mastered the art of putting books together in 3 days. So when you sign up for the six-figure author masterclass, that book you've been putting off for 2, 3, 4 years, we're going to show you how to write it in just 3 days. So just that alone, if I told you in just, when you come to the masterclass, you're going to walk out with a plan to write your book in 3 days, that'd probably be worth it all by itself. But we're not going to stop there, because here's how we do this, right? How do we get to a book in 3 days? What else does that mean? Like, I'm coming in, you can come in with the book already done. You can come in with just an idea. But when you sign up for the masterclass, how do we get to writing this book in 3 days? First and foremost, we're going to lay out what the purpose of your book is, right? We're going to talk about the purpose, and that purpose is going to direct our actions, direct how we put the book together. We're going to talk about that. We're going to go through, my handwriting just beautiful. We're going to go through the titles and the chapters of your book. So when you walk out of the masterclass, you're going to have your titles and your chapters already outlined out for you. You're going to have that done. You may have an idea for a title, but what's going to happen is when you come into the master class, you're going to have myself, you're going to have other experts, you're going to have other authors as your focus group right there who can help you and give you the advice right then and say, hey, some live feedback on whether or not this is the best way to word this, or what title works best. All right. What else are we going to do? We're going to hone in on your actual target audience. This is so important because, when I meet authors and I ask them, who's your book for? The worst answer you can have is everybody. Everybody needs this book. Here's another secret for you. Everyone doesn't need your book. And everyone who needs your book probably doesn't want your book. So the book can't be for everyone. That can't be your target audience. You have to really hone in on who you're trying to reach with your book. And because the reason you need to hone in on that is because that's going to direct how you write your book, how you present your book, and how we get to other levels of marketing your book. So but you're going to walk away with that, knowing who your target audience is and the best way to approach them. What else are we going to do? We're going to outline your entire book. So you'll have your entire book outline done for you once you walk out of there. So, a lot of times that's the biggest thing is, where do I start? People ask, where do I start? How do I put it together? How do I get my thoughts out of here onto my computer screen, onto a piece of paper? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to teach you that, walk you through that outline in this masterclass. And the masterclass is 2 days. So this is broken down in 2 days. The first day, this is all in the first day, what we're going to go over. Okay. So on the first day, you're getting all of this. All right. Then also what we're going to do is we're going to talk about your publishing options. Whether you want to self-publish, pursue a publishing deal, whether you want to co-publish with someone else. Okay. So we're going to talk about the publishing options and decide what's best for you. Give you the pros and cons of every opportunity and decide what it is that you should do. All right. Then we're going to also talk about your book cover. We're going to give you some ideas, and you're going to walk out with a draft book cover so that you know what your book should look like, what cover is going to sell, what cover is going to best articulate the message in your book, how you should go over. And here's the thing about book cover. The book cover is not just the front image. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people go to graphic designers and they get a book cover done, and it's the front image. The book cover consists of 3 pieces. You have the front cover, you have your spine, and you have your back cover. And the back cover, if you know anything about book research, back cover is more important than the front cover. Because see, the front cover, people will pick it up and they'll see it, it'll attract them to pick it up. But immediately what they do after they pick up the book, they flip it over. They flip it over and they read that back cover. And that back cover is what helps them decide if they're going to open up the book or if they're going to just go on to the next book. So that back cover can't be ignored. We're going to talk about that. You're going to walk out with your cover design, your back cover copy, and knowing exactly what it is that your book should look like once you get it professionally done. Then what else are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about social media. We're going to show you how to make your book social media optimized. Well, optimize your book for social media, because now we're living in a new age, right? So, 20 years ago, writing a book, you were writing your book focused on how to get it on a bookshelf. So your book had to sell in a book place. You had to be on how do I make my book ready for Barnes and Noble? How to make my book ready for Borders? Remember them? But now we have to make our book optimized for social media, because that's where the world is. We're online. So how do you optimize your book? We're going to give you all the secrets and the tips to make sure that your book is optimized for social media, so that when you go into the marketplace in the digital world, you can stand out and you can maximize every single impression that you get to make sure that people are finding you and getting exactly what it is you want them to get and moving to action when they see about your book. Then also what we're going to do is you're going to actually write your book in class. You're going to start writing your book in class. This is not just going to be a workshop where you're sitting there watching and listening to me talk. You're going to actually interact. You're actually going to do work. So this is not just a conference. This is not a workshop. It's a master class. So in class, there's work to be done. So you're going to do work and you're going to start writing your book there. When you walk out of the master class, just day one, when you walk out day one, your book is going to be 80% complete. Now, I know that's a big deal. 80% complete. Ryan, how's it going to be 80% complete? Listen, when we sit there and we outline it, we go through everything, we show you the process of how to complete your book. That's just one day. We're going to show you how you can finish that book in the next 2 days, so that you're doing that 3-day book. all right, and have your book completed and done and fully out of your head, ready to go to the editor, okay? And then also you want to go through your writing schedule. So when you walk out, you'll have your schedule on how you're going to go ahead and complete that book. So that's all we're going to do in the first day. So that first challenge, people talk about how do I write my book? The masterclass first day, the writing masterclass covers every single thing, every challenge, everything that you could, obstacle you might face about writing the book, we cover on that first day. Now, if we just stop there, we'd be good. You come out with a new book and you'd be good. But here's the thing. The second challenge that every author faces and comes to me about, the second thing they talk about is how do I sell more books, right? It's good to write a book, but then how do you sell books? How do you get those books off the shelf? And that's what day 2 is all about, marketing your book. So it's a writing and marketing masterclass. Here's the thing about the masterclass. You can come to one day or the other. You don't have to come to both days. But I promise you, once you go to the first day, you're going to wish you want to stay for the second day. So you might as well go ahead and just register for both days and get it, knock it all out, right? But we have a separate whole day on marketing your books. Now, here's the secret I want to tell you about marketing and selling your books. And this may sound counterproductive, counterintuitive, but you have to stop trying to sell your book. What do you mean, Ryan? Stop trying to sell my book. I wrote the book. What do you mean don't sell my book? Here's the thing. Stop trying to sell your book. 'Cause what happens is we're so caught up in saying, hey, here's my book. Buy my book. And people see your book and they say, well, from that book, they decide or determine, do I want this book or not? Do I need this book or not? But what we have to stop trying to do is selling the book. I'm going to show you what we have to do, what we should be selling. So first and foremost, there's 2 ways to look at. Should I get on this side? Let me see. Can you see me on this side? And I'm going to stand on this side. There's 2 things we're going to look at when you're talking about selling a book. Okay. Now let's first of all, let's go with the goal. Let's say our goal, we're talking about 6-figure author mastery, right? So let's say our goal is to make $100,000 from our book. Our goal is to make $100,000 from our book. Now, the traditional way, I'm going to switch my pen here. The traditional way that we go about selling books, the old school way, is we have our book and we sell our book for $20. All right, so we have a $20 book. The traditional way is doing that. Now, we want to make $100,000 the old school way. We'd have to sell 5,000 copies of this book to get $100,000, right? Oops, there we go. I put an extra 0 in there, $100,000, right? So we want to sell make $100,000. We have to sell 5,000 copies of this book, right? So what does that end up? It's like 14 copies a day. So if you have a book right now and you're not selling 14 copies of your book every single day, you're not on pace to make $100,000 from your book. But the frustrating part in that is that here's the real statistics. The average book, there's millions of books published every single year. All right, millions of books published every single year. And on average, over the lifespan of any title, the book typically sells 200 copies. 200 copies. So think about that. It doesn't matter who you are. The average book over its lifespan, not per year, not per week or month, over its lifespan of the book, the average book only sells 200 copies. So if the average book only sells 200 copies and you need to sell 5,000 copies to get to 6 figures, there's got to be a better way, right? There's got to be a better way to go ahead and make a 6-figure income from your book. And what we do is we go into the new way. The new way, and what experts have been doing for a while and haven't been telling everyone else about it, but that's what we're going to teach you in the marketing masterclass, is that instead of selling your book, you want to sell what's in the book. All right. So instead of telling someone, hey, buy my book, you want to sell them on the problem that your book solves. All right. So my book, I have a book, Becoming a Passionpreneur. So I'm going to say, hey, buy my book, Becoming a Passionpreneur. And they're like, hey, why do I want to buy your book? What's Becoming a Passionpreneur? But what I'll do is what I teach in my book is how to get paid for what you know by building passenger and revenue streams. So people do want to know how to get paid for information that they already know, right? So what that means is instead of selling the book, we need to shift to selling the content in the book. All right, so now we're selling the content from the book. Now that means the content rather, doesn't have to be put out in just a book. The book is kind of an introduction to the content. The book is kind of our authorization, our validation. Because when you write a book, you automatically become authorized, right? People look at you differently when you write a book. When you're an author, now people look at you like, oh, they know what they're talking about. All right, so the book just gives you the door to open to be able to sell your content. All right, so in the content now, when you come to the master class, what we teach you is how to take everything you just wrote in your book, how to maximize that content, how to exploit that content through building your own product matrix. And if you can't see all this, I'll move out the way. You can get a good screenshot at the end. But what we're going to do in the master class is go through and build a product matrix, because when your content now, we can take the same information from this book and we can develop several things. So we can do what? We can make a webinar from our book. Can you imagine making a webinar and people do free webinars all the time. You're watching this. This is free, right? This is a webinar. So you can go out there and you can do that. Or you can charge for your webinars, right? What else can we do? All right, we can also, if we don't have a webinar, we can go and do an at-home course. So you may sell an at-home course to someone for $97. So you have a product or something that you want to generate from your book. Maybe there's a worksheet that you put together from your book. Maybe there's a system that you have. You can sell an at-home course of that book for $97. Or what about this? What about starting a monthly book club? We have a membership portal. So instead of selling your book for $20, you tell people, hey, for $10 a month, you can join my membership portal. And then every month, every week, you're going to give information out from your book. And that way people are now experiencing your book over the year. So your $20 book is now making you $120 a year, as opposed to just that one-time $20. This is starting to make sense. It's adding up to you. We're going to show you how to do this. We're going to walk through building these things at the mastermind, at the master class. Okay. Also, what else? You can have a conference. You can have a conference. You can have a virtual conference. You can have a live conference. Let's say you have a conference that you're charging $497 for. So now the information that you just talked about in your book, now you want to go out and build a conference. So now you're charging everyone $500 to come to your conference to learn the information that was in your $20 book. So how many people did you have to get? If you're trying to get a $100,000 goal at $500 a person, see how much faster you get there at $20 a person? What else can we do? But it doesn't stop there, right? Because now you can have a digital academy. You can have an online digital academy where you teach everything in your book, in lessons and videos and online, where now people can go on to your digital academy that you set up, and you can charge anything for that digital academy. I mean, digital academies, let's say you charge $1,000 for your digital academy. So now people who wanted the book, now they want to say, well, the book was good, but show me how to do it. Now they sign up for your classes to go learn how to do it at $1,000 per class. You're talking about 100 people, 100 registrations, and now you're at $100,000. So ask yourself this question. See, people look on now like, Mark, that sounds good, but does it work? What's the most? If you had a book, if you found a book and you knew that book would teach you everything you needed to know about solving a problem that you have. It taught you everything, but it was a book. How much would you pay for that book? Ask yourself. See, most people will probably be around $20. Let's say you even go up to $100. If you knew this book was going to teach you everything, you give $100 for a book. But if it was a course, if you were going to take an online class that was going to teach you everything you needed to know about the problem you wanted to solve, how much would you pay for that? I guarantee you your number is going to be much higher for the class than it is for the book. Because we've been conditioned to think that a book, no matter how valuable information is in the book, once that book is over $20, we start looking like, whoa. It's a book. Why am I paying more than $20 for a book? It doesn't matter how valuable the information is, it's in a book. So we've already been conditioned to think that we can't pay more than $20, $25 tops. If it's hardcover, they're getting fancy, right? But when it's a class, it's an online academy. Well, if you've been to college, you know you pay tens of thousands of dollars to go to college courses. So a class has a different feel to it. So if I pay, you charge someone $1,000 for a class that's going to solve their problems, Now, $1,000 is not that bad. And now the whole shift, the mindset shifts on that. You see? So think about that when you talk about that. Now, here's the other thing, right? You can also have intensives or masterminds, boot camps, whatever you want to call them. These are when you get a group together, a smaller group. Used to be in smaller groups, but for, say, a weekend, you can come in and I'll teach you on an individual basis for 4 days how to go out there and build exactly what I built on your own. See, something like this, now you can charge thousands of dollars for this. You can charge anywhere from $2,000 up to, $5,000 for a mastermind, for an intensive. You can go higher than that. But now if we're selling a mastermind experience or an intensive experience, a boot camp experience for $5,000 off the same information we wrote about in our $20 book. $5,000, what is that? Let me do the quick math. That's 20 people. So if you only need 20 people to sign up for your intensive in a year to get to $100,000 versus 5,000 people to sign up for your $20 book. Is this making sense? These are the things we're going to teach you in the master class. So we're going to go through and learn all this information, how to build these out, how to develop these based on your specific book. All right. And then finally, you can even do one-on-ones. One-on-ones, your one-on-one information, coaching, that can be anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 a pop. And this is how you maximize your content. This is how you go out there and build a six-figure enterprise based on the content and not the book itself. And here's the wonderful thing, right? Hold on for this, because here's the thing. When I go out there and sell this book, if all I have is this book, that's all I have. So if I go out and talk to this person A, I can only sell them a book. I talk to person B, I can only sell them a book. Person C, I can only sell them a book. But with this system, when you maximize your content, person A may sign up for the book club. Person B may sign up for the digital academy. Person C may sign up for an intensive. So you can have 2, 3, 4 of these going at the same time and make multiple six figures at one time based off the same content. But you've got to know how to set up the systems. You got to know what these are going to be. And that's what day 2 of the masterclass is all about. Setting up all these systems and how to go out there and build a six-figure business based on your book. All right. But it doesn't stop there because there's 5 things that we cover, right? And I'm getting down here at the bottom. I hope you can see the bottom of the screen. So we're going to cover promotion. All right. We talk about promotion. We're going to talk about monetization. So in this class, you're going to learn everything about how to promote your books and how to promote your content. We'll talk about how to monetize the content. So we're talking about how to take everything out of the book and how to monetize it, how to create it into pieces and nuggets that will generate income for you. Then we talk about distribution. So having the information and having the content is great, but how do we get it out to people? How do we distribute it? We're going to show you that as well. Then we talk about creation. So it's not necessarily in this order, but we're going to talk about how to create the content that we want to be able to distribute, right? So how to take your book and create all of this content in order to go out there and build this business. And then finally, hopefully you can see at the bottom is automation. So then we're going to talk about how to automate all this. Because here's the thing. If I build all of this and then I have to be the one to go out and do all of this and make everything work and answer every email, go out and do every class, go out there and lead every academy, that's not fun. That's not maximizing my time and my energy. Okay. Automation is how you set this up. We're going to show you how to create all of these things and then how to put it on cruise control, how to have it go out there and build for you without you having to be the one doing it all the time. So that's so important. We're going to cover that as well. A couple other bonuses we want to throw in there for you. We're going to talk about your social media schedule. You're going to walk out with your social media schedule already laid out and planned. Right? And you say, Ryan, I just wrote a book. Right. But we're not going to wait till the book comes out to go do the social media plan, because here's the thing. We know the book is coming. So we don't have to wait till the book is out. If you wait till the book is already done, then you're already behind the 8 ball, right? So trust me, I learned this for the first time around. You can't wait till the book is done to start marketing the book. While the book is being completed and edited and all that and put together, we're telling people about it. We're building a buzz. We're creating that, because what we've also done is created our 90-day launch plan. See, once you leave the masterclass, you're going to walk away with your 90-day launch plan. You're going to know what your plan is so that you can launch your book in 90 days. So it doesn't take forever. It doesn't take another year. But we're going to have the book done, so we might as well start telling people about it, right? We might as well launch how we're going to, figure out how we're going to launch this book so that we're coming out with momentum, not just post and say, hey, here's my book, go buy the book. No, we're going to have a whole plan, right? You're going to write your email announcements. So when you walk out of here, you're going to already know. So it takes the guesswork out because you're going to have your email announcement written. So you're already going to know what to say when you want to introduce the fact that you're writing a book, that you have a book coming out. You're going to do that, all right? We're going to also talk about how to get endorsements. Now, look, this is a little embarrassing, but it's a true story, right? Now, when I wrote my first book, I'd never written a book before, right? I didn't have any coaches. I didn't know who to go to for help. But the one thing I could never figure out when I wrote my book was how, when people write books, how do they get people to say nice things about their book in the book? I'm like, the book just came out and then they read the book. How do they give a review and the review get on the book? Look, I said it was silly, right? Sounds silly. But back then I had no idea. I was wondering, how do you do that? Well, guess what? Here's how you do it. Because they sent the book out before it was printed, got the words said, got the reviews and endorsements, and then those were put into the book. I didn't know that. Maybe you do that. But how do you get those endorsements, right? How do we go out there and ask people to write something nice about our book? And how do we, so that we can have those endorsements to help sell our books? We're going to talk about that as well in this class. We're going to be able to show you, walk you through how to go and get those endorsements. And then finally, we're going to talk about media inquiries. Because a lot of people want to be on the radio. They want to be on TV. They want other people to know about their book. So we're going to talk about how to maximize and write the best kind of media inquiries to get you the most media coverage you can get for your book. So listen, that is it. That's what we're going to cover. So on day one, we'll talk about how to write the book. Day two, we'll talk about how to sell the book. All of this is going to happen over 2 days. This is an intensive. It is a master class. Okay. So it's a lot, but we're going to cover that in those 2 days. And if you made a commitment that you're finally ready to go and put your book together or go out there and sell more books, then this is what, take advantage now. Register now so you can go and click the link. You can register for the upcoming class so you can take advantage. Listen, there's only 12 seats per class. So if you're up in the air about it, you snooze, you may lose, but make sure you register for the next class so you can take advantage of this. You'll walk away with your focus and your plan on how to go out there and put out your next book. SFAmasterclass.com. SFAmasterclass.com. Register for the next upcoming course. I look forward to helping you, teaching you in person, helping you turn your $20 book into a 6-figure revenue stream without you having to be a famous author. I'm Ryan C. Greene. Thanks for your time. Here's to your success.